everyone. If you've been here before, welcome back. If not, my name is Elena and I post my everyday adventures with my dog Fox, who is a 1-year-old Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever. He's not in the car with me right now, but I promise you'll get to see him in a minute. Today, I am just vlogging a few days in our life. Today's the Wednesday before Valentine's Day, so I'll probably vlog through Saturday, maybe Sunday, depending on how much I decide to vlog in the next couple days. Last time we vlogged, it was a couple weeks ago, and we were going to upstate New York, doing a partnered stay up there. Today, Lindsay and I, who is Odin's mom, our long-distance bestie in Washington, we are doing a Galentines Day FaceTime date. We're just gonna bake cookies and maybe go for a virtual walk together, but it is pretty cold today, and I think it's even colder where she is. I'm not sure, but it's like 25 degrees here, which I know isn't that bad, but it feels cold. And it's supposed to like freezing rain tonight, so that stinks. Oh no, I think it's starting to rain right now. Hope it stops. Look at what we found at the pet store. A little, can you guys see that? A spring lammy. I'm gonna wait and give that to Fox for his birthday in April. They snagged it because over Christmas, if you remember, we couldn't find any Christmas lammies. So I saw that and I was like, Ryan, we have to get it because it's cute and I love spring. It's my favorite season. So anyway, I'm going to just take you guys along with me for our journey the next couple days. I will check in with you guys in a little while.
Let's go. Good boy. What you doing? What you doing? This way.
Hello friends, it is Saturday morning now. I did not check in the last couple days, but I did record some of our Valentine's Day. Thursday, I went to the eye doctor. I wanted to vlog that, but I got really anxious about the eye doctor appointment in general, and I thought vlogging would make me less anxious, but it actually made me more anxious, so I just did not vlog that. If you've seen some of our other vlogs, you'll know I've been putting off going to the eye doctor for many months. I ran out of contact lenses like months ago, and I much prefer to wear contacts over glasses. My prescription's all wrong, and my eye doctor retired, and I've just procrastinated finding a new eye doctor, but I finally did it the other day, and I got my new prescription. I ordered some new glasses and some new contacts, and I am relieved because that has been something that's been on my to-do list for a while. Anyway, yesterday was Thanksgiving. Am I okay? Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Ryan and I don't usually do like anything huge for Valentine's Day, but last night he did make me breakfast. He made me chocolate chip muffins. It got me some flowers and candy. For dinner, we did an appetizer special. It's like our favorite thing to do. So we had just like a mixture of appetizers, and then we played some Mario Kart and ate some cookies. So I feel like it was a pretty good Valentine's Day. Oh, and Ryan got Fox this cute little waiter bow tie bandana and had him be our waiter for the evening, so that was really cute. Fox looks pretty good in a bow tie, I think. Now we are heading back to my parents for the weekend. It is supposed to snow again tonight, but it's also supposed to be like freezing rain, which has been a trend lately. It's been like it'll snow, but then the end of the snowstorm will be freezing rain, and it will either snow on top of the freezing rain or the freezing rain on top of the snow, and it's just really slippery and disgusting. I would much rather it just be snow. So slippery and slushy and disgusting, and I'm just over the nastiness. The last couple winters have been really mild and we've barely gotten any snow, and this winter we've gotten a pretty good amount of snow. I'm over it because I do love the snow. I love fresh snow, but when it just sits and gets like dirty and disgusting, I just can't deal with it anymore. I want spring. Halfway through February officially, which is crazy. January felt so long and it was really dragging, but February is going by much faster. I'm feeling a lot more optimistic about February and March than I was about January, which is just me every year. I always try to start the year off positively, but it's just, January is just a hard month. It's like after the holidays, the pressure of New Year's, it's just a long month, it's cold, it's dark. If you know, you know, but things are looking up. The sun is setting past 5 o'clock. It is halfway through February, which means spring and daylight savings is right around the corner. I'm very, very excited for daylight savings. That's like when I come alive. And like I said, today after work, we're gonna go see Scully. It is a long weekend, so we'll probably stay at my parents' until Monday just to enjoy the snow and spend some time with Scully. Oh, and so before we go, I also have to check our mailbox because I had put together a package for Bestie Odin's birthday, which was the 9th. Ryan was going by the post office and he mailed it, and it is getting sent back to us, or I got a return to sender notice. I have to check our mailbox and hope that the package is there so I can send it back to him so he doesn't think that I forgot about his birthday. Yeah, that is what we're up to. I am going to get Fox in the car now, and then I will check in with you guys a little bit later today.
Ready? You ready to go? Let's go. You can go up.
Good boy.
Oh, let's go. Hi. Excited. This is Foxy.
Get him. Hi.
Bye, baby. Are you cold?
Oh, you got snow on your face.
Hi. Good morning.
Hey again, you guys. So excuse the background. I am currently in my parents' sun porch because there are a lot of people in the house right now and I could not find anywhere to record. We are packing up the car right now and getting ready to head back home. This weekend has been horrible weather. It snowed the other day and luckily we got a chance to go outside at night and play in the snow a little bit, but it turned into freezing rain and it just poured freezing rain nonstop for the rest of the weekend. And now it is like 8 degrees. So it's really cold and all ice, so we can't safely go take a walk or go on the trails. Extremely windy today too. The wind chill is insane, so it's making it feel so much colder than it is. With the gross weather, my shift at work was really slow. I got out early, pretty much just stayed inside all weekend. Fox is getting a little stir crazy. Even he didn't want to stay outside for long yesterday, which means it was pretty gross outside because he doesn't really mind any weather. We are going to stop at a couple stores to do some training and walk around the stores, get him some mental stimulation and exercise. Did lots of training last night and we kind of just hung out and stayed inside. I am really hoping this is like the last stretch of really cold weather we have. I feel like at the end of February it usually warms up and I'm just ready for spring. Like I said earlier in the vlog, I'm thinking about posting like a Q&A on our Instagram story, and then maybe I'll come back and answer some questions. A couple people asked me to do like a neuter Q&A, so maybe we can answer some questions regarding Fox's neuter. But I also wanted to show you guys this cool thing. So some of you know we're doing a big cross-country road trip this summer. We have been working more on planning our itinerary and schedule. Wow, it's really windy. So I have been slowly but surely doing a lot of planning for the road trip. I've also been trying to compile a list of things we need because I don't want to overpack, but I also don't want to not have things that we might need in case of an emergency or any unexpected like delays. So my first priority is safety stuff. So I ordered a tie down kit for Fox's car crate so that we can have that be more crash safe, because that's a big reason we use a car crate. The main reason we started using one is because he always had a much easier time settling in his crate than outside of it, and he would get super restless in the car as a baby and it was kind of a nightmare. Like he would try to chew everything, he could not sit still, he tried to jump in the front seat. I ended up getting a Ruffland car crate to hopefully help him settle, and that worked and he loves it. and he just sleeps when we're in the car now. He's great for road trips now. So that is the main reason we got a car crate initially, but I also always wanted one for crash safety. Car crates are the safest method to protect you and your dog in the event of a car crash. Definitely want to make sure we have it tied down and secured for our road trip. So I actually found a seller on Etsy that makes emergency tags for dog crates, and you can have her put any information you want on, but like the purpose of it is in the event of a car crash or in the event that Ryan and I are unconscious or something terrible happens, it has his vet information, his health insurance information, and emergency contacts, so we can strap that to his car crate. But I wanted to show you guys because it came in the mail the other day, and I'm going to put it on his crate. Not working with this Etsy seller or anything, I just found her, but I did want to promote her because she did it so fast. Even if you don't use a car crate for your dog, it might be helpful to have something like this with emergency information for your dog in the event that you are in a car crash or you have to go to the hospital or something like that. If you're in an area where you can't call for help for your dog, I think this is a really good idea for everyone to have. Besides this and the tie down kit, next thing on my list for our road trip safety for Fox is putting together a first aid kit for him and for us. If you guys have any suggestions for safe road tripping with dogs, be in the car like 8 hours a day, obviously planning in stops for him and stuff, but he's used to being in the crate for naps and he is fine. He's done 4 to 6 hour stretches in the car and been totally fine, and we obviously stopped for rest for him, but I think he would have just slept the whole way. As long as he gets exercise before and after, he is a good road trip puppy. Definitely comment suggestions because I will take any help or advice I can get. I definitely want to be as prepared as possible, especially for him. Anyway, let me show you guys this little tag. So I'm not going to show you the back because it has our information on it, but hopefully you guys can see this. If not, I will insert a clip of just what it looks like. The back has his breed, he's up to date on his vaccinations, his pet insurance policy number, his vet information, and emergency contacts, which we have down as Bree's parents because they are our neighbors and they know Fox and they would come pick him up in a heartbeat. Etsy seller is Nia Pets, I think, Nia Pets. I will include a link to her Etsy store in the description. She had this to me so fast, and she also has like recommendations of other things you can put on there, like this. It says, Fox, please leash before moving from the crate, because if, you know, like in an emergency situation, people will open up crates or car doors and dogs will just dart out and run into the highway. So I thought that was smart to have on there. And then at the top of the back, it also says, please take this dog to the vet. Owner will pay for medical bills. That was another thing she suggested to put on there. So I think that's helpful because a lot of people can't afford to take some random dog to the vet if they happen upon him. So I am glad now to have this just for peace of mind. And then it comes with like a little, what would you call this thing? Like strap to put right on his car crate. Anyway, I will check in with you guys soon.
Let's go. Good. Yeah, look at me. Yes, good job.
Has been a little less active than our previous vlogs, or we haven't been up to as much. I thought it would be a perfect time to answer some Q&A questions. So I have my computer here with me and I am just going to pull up some of the questions that we got, and I'm going to try and answer as many as I can and go into as, hey, those are my glasses. The weather and everything, Fox is struggling because we've not been able to get as much exercise as usual. Probably do like a game of hide and seek or something in a little while. We already did a training session. He got some frozen enrichment. We did take a walk, but it's so icy outside that like we were both slipping. It just was not safe. Hi. We have not been able to get outside to get his big energy out as much as usual. and he hasn't been able to swim in months. The trails are too slippery and icy right now, so we haven't been able to do any off-leash walks in like a week, I'd say. So he's getting a little, can you not? I have my computer here and I'm going to try to answer as many questions I can and talk about as many topics as I can. A common theme we got in these Q&A submissions was asking us to talk a little bit more about the road trip that we were going on this spring. Did want to quickly first go over some of the rough details that we have so far. So all I have nailed down is that we are leaving sometime at the end of May. We are driving straight across the country from central Massachusetts to Oregon, and that we will probably be doing in about 5 or 6 days with 6 to 9 hours of driving per day. Fox is obviously coming with us, and we are going to drive straight through to Oregon. I think our first coastal stop is going to be Cannon Beach. Last year, Ryan and I, with some friends, did a road trip starting in Olympic National Park, Seattle area, and we drove all the way down to San Francisco for 2 weeks, and then we flew back. And that was when Fox was a little baby, and we left him with his breeder because we had planned this trip before we knew we were getting him, so he stayed with his breeder, and it was really sad to leave him when he was a little tiny puppy. But he was also a really difficult puppy, and I feel like that 2 weeks with his brother, and he got to be with his mom as well during that time. I think it was a good time period for us to take a break, but you know how much puppies grow in 2 weeks, so he was like just hit 4 months old, I think, when we returned. So it was hard. I was really sad he wasn't with us, and all I could think about when we were there was how much he would love all the stops. And driving down the coast, I was surprised with how dog friendly it was. There, obviously, most national parks don't have a lot of dog friendly trails, but I did find Olympic National Park to have quite a few dog friendly trails. The Oregon coast was pretty dog friendly from what I remember. I remember seeing dogs everywhere we went. We are going to leave at the end of May. My birthday's at the end of May, so I'm thinking we'll leave around that time, and we are going to be there straight through all of June and return right before the 4th of July. We do have a family trip planned in Cape Cod for the 4th of July, so right when we get back we're going to go on that trip, but that will just be a pretty relaxed beach trip. We do it every year, and Fox loves the area. We're actually going back to the same rental house that we rented last year, so I definitely want to make sure we are back in time for that. But what I've worked out so far, we'll do a brief stop at Niagara Falls. That will be our first stop, and we'll probably just stay overnight somewhere in Buffalo, New York. Then I think our second stop is Chicago. It might alter where we drive through the Midwest depending. We have a couple Instagram besties that live in the Midwest area, so if we want to coordinate stops to see anybody, then we might change this itinerary, but I think we're driving straight through Chicago anyway. I'm not much of a city person, but I've never been to Chicago, so I figured we might as well stop there for a night. The next few stops are up in the air a little bit right now. We are going to spend a few days in Cannon Beach, Oregon, and possibly Bandon. Ryan and I went to Bandon, Oregon last year on our trip, and I loved it. I just loved that beach. The Oregon coast in general just was amazing. So once we make it to the Oregon coast, we are going to drive up the coast and make a couple stops and drive up to Olympic National Park. We might do one night in Seattle. Again, I'm not really a city person. We did visit Seattle on our trip last year, and I loved it. I think it probably was my favorite city that I've ever visited, but we only have so much time, and even though we are going to be on the road for so long, I want to be able to thoroughly enjoy each place that we go. We were originally going to go to Colorado, but we decided to cut that because I don't think we were going to have time to enjoy it as much as I want to, and we'll have to just save it for a later trip. So anyway, yeah, we're going to drive to Olympic, and then we're going to drive inland. I would like to stop at North Cascades National Park and Mount Rainier National Park. Also, Washington natives, let me know how you're supposed to say Mount Rainier, because I've heard so many different ways. Even actually from people from Washington, I've heard it pronounced like 3 different ways. So somebody tell me how I'm supposed to pronounce it. But I know that those ones aren't super dog friendly. I have to do some more research. I want to at least drive through them. We are also going to stop in Spokane for a undecided amount of time right now to see our besties Odin and Linz, and we'll get some good Fox and Odin time and hopefully see them swim together. That is like my dream, to see Fox and Odin swim together, even though they would probably be in their own little worlds. Like Odin would be obsessed with his ball and Fox would be obsessed with the sticks. That's what they want though. Fox does not like to be bothered by other dogs when he's trying to swim, which is so funny because normally he does want to interact with other dogs. So, and then we do want to go to Montana and possibly Wyoming, and then we are going to drive back. Also, side note, I'm so sorry if you can hear our dishwasher in the background. I hope that's not that loud. But anyway, moving on. I need my glasses for the questions. Okay, so would you ever add a second dog to the family? If so, what breed? If not, why? I always imagined us as a 2-dog household, but now that I have raised Fox, I not changed my mind, but reconsidered a little bit. I would say he was a very difficult puppy, so not for a long time will we have another puppy. Maybe when Fox is around 5, I would revisit the question, but I do kind of love just being able to spoil Fox and give him all of our attention. In regards to breed, I don't know. I never thought I would be a one breed person, but I do love Tollers. There's just something about them. They are crazy and chaotic, but they remind me of humans, honestly. They're like emotional in the best way, and they can't sit still, and they're always up for an adventure, and they just are special. Every Toller I've met has been unique and special. I don't know, I definitely see us getting another Toller at some point. There are some other breeds that I would love to own. Greyhounds, Whippets. Obviously, I love Golden Retrievers. I would love to get another Golden. I do also love Australian Shepherds. Fun fact, when Ryan and I were talking about getting a puppy, we were back and forth between Tollers and Australian Shepherds, and we did come kind of close to Australian Shepherds. I reached out to a couple breeders, but ultimately once we interacted with some more Tollers, it wasn't even a question. But yeah, so the answer to that question really is I don't know. I do think we will get another dog down the line, but I think next up we'll probably get a cat if we can get Fox to calm down around small animals a little more. This is the first time in my life I've not had a cat, so I am definitely missing having a kitty around. I don't think I like dogs or cats better than the other, but I do have a special love for cats. Kitty was my first word, and I've always had cats. I didn't get a dog until I was a little older as a kid, so cats are like my first love. Yeah, I think we will get another dog down the line, but right now I'm still traumatized. I would also love to foster if we have the resources in the future, if I had the time and resources and the mental stability, I suppose. But okay, next question. A lot of the questions were about the road trip. Oh, someone asked what stops on our road trip we're most excited for. I don't know, I'm excited for all of it. I'm very excited for the road trip aspect. We've never done a road trip with Fox longer than 6 hours, so it'll definitely be a learning experience. But Fox is such a good road trip dog. Sleeps in his car crate and is totally fine, as long as we get him some exercise in between and when we stop. I'm also, like I said, I'm very excited for the Oregon coast. I think Fox will love the beaches there. I'm really excited for the mountains too, because the mountains on the west coast just like are so much cooler than the mountains we have over here. Don't get me wrong, like I love the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Our jaws were dropped the whole time we were in Washington and Oregon, but especially the mountains over there are just so beautiful. And I cannot wait to see Fox experience everything. I think that's what I'm most excited for. It's just my favorite watching him experience new things, because he genuinely loves it and is so interested and observant. And that's something I love about Tollers, to go back to the previous question. They are so observant. It's crazy. I've never seen a dog notice so much or like take in their surroundings as much as Fox and other Tollers that I've met do. Next question. So this question is asking us if we've seen a difference in Fox's personality or behavior since he was neutered, and this is actually something we've been asked a lot, I think, since we documented the neuter recovery process, and because I was open about some of the hormone-driven behavior things we were struggling with. A lot of people have reached out to us over the last few months asking us neuter questions. I've honestly considered just like dedicating a whole video to it if that's something anyone would be interested in. I would say His personality is largely the same, and any changes that we have seen have been positive. He is able to focus more easily now, for sure. Most of his hormone-driven behaviors have reduced dramatically, or they have completely stopped. He used to hump us, and like, I'm even honestly kind of afraid to talk about this. I feel like I'm gonna jinx it, or it's just gonna come back. But he would hump us almost every night during his witching hour, or when he was overstimulated. He would get really humpy and frantic, and just, if you've ever seen an like completely gone overstimulated dog, that's what he looked like. And he would hump us, and there would be no stopping him without putting him in the crate. So since his neuter, that has, knock on wood please, completely stopped. Thank God, because that was actually a really big issue. He definitely was improving with age, but since he's been neutered, it's completely stopped. There might have been maybe twice after the neuter where he would like jump up and think about humping me. Like, I could tell his body language was saying that that's what he was gonna do, but then he would stop and like look confused. To piggyback off of that, he does not urine mark nearly as much as he used to out on walks. He still does a few times, but he used to, you know, like pee on every single tree, bush, pole that we could find, and now he doesn't really. He also pees like a girl sometimes. We never really had a problem with urine marking inside. I know some people with intact males do struggle with that, so that's something I can't speak on. Overall, he's just been a lot less distracted, and he can focus more easily. He's definitely less obsessive with other dogs. He does still sometimes hump other dogs, especially females, but typically only dogs that hump him first. And he used to, before he was neutered, like immediately go to hump every single dog he met, which was scary and dangerous because you never know how another dog's gonna react to that, and it's rude. So I was always very worried about that, and I'm so thankful that that has reduced. Oh, and he's like much less obsessed. He used to be obsessed with female dogs. Like, if he could smell them from across the street, he would lose his mind, and there was no regaining his focus. He did make progress with that, again with age and work, and I'm sure if we kept him intact we could have worked through it, but it's not been an issue at all since he's been neutered. And my favorite change is that he is so snuggly since his neuter. Like, it was an instant change. I thought it was the medication, that it was just gonna stop after he stopped taking the medication. He would always, after taking the medication, he would come over and just flop onto you and fall asleep, which he never ever did before that. I think he fell asleep on me a handful of times, maybe. He was not cuddly at all, and now he's like, I wouldn't say he's a cuddly dog. Tollers aren't really known for being cuddly, but he cuddles most days. When he's tired, he will come and flop over and rest his head on me and fall asleep on me. If we do let him sleep outside of his crate in the bed, he will sleep right next to me. He likes to be the little spoon. That's crazy to me because he never barely wanted to be touched as a puppy. He didn't even like belly rubs. He didn't want to be pet. He didn't want to be restrained. He was just go, go, go all the time. He could not slow down at all. He definitely does seem to have the ability to slow down and relax a little bit more now. His temperament is just a lot more even, I would say, and honestly, again, there have not been any negative changes. He is still the exact same dog. He still gets along with other dogs. We did have someone else ask us if we considered doing chemical castration, and that, as far as I understand, is not a very common procedure over here in the US. I know it is something people do, but I think it's much more common in Europe. It is not something I considered. Based on the literature that I've read and the research I've done and the vets that I've talked to, there really isn't any risk in getting them neutered as long as they're fully grown. So the benefits outweighed the non-existent risks in my head. I'm definitely glad that I waited till he was fully grown. We waited till he was a year and a half. If he didn't have those hormonal issues, I might have waited till he was 2 just to be on the safe side of him being fully grown and not affecting his joint health at all. But tollers aren't super large breeds anyway. The impact on the joints from a neuter procedure is not a huge concern. I probably would have just waited till he was 2 to be safe. And if he was a female, I would spay right after the first or second heat cycle to avoid any risk of pyometra or mammary cancer. But yeah, I just listened to my vet. My vet did not recommend chemical castration. If that's something that your vet does or recommends, then definitely do that. I honestly was not that concerned about neutering him. I was looking forward to it, honestly, because of the hormone-driven behaviors that I was just describing. Please make a weekly travel vlog of your outdoor activities this spring or summer. I definitely want to hear anyone's content ideas for our trip. I definitely plan to vlog it. I want to especially vlog the road trip out there because we're road tripping across the country and we're doing it with a dog. So I definitely want to share everything that we learn along the way, document all the activities that we do, and trying to come up with some ideas for like a reel series for Instagram and then also a vlog series for YouTube. Can you talk about the switch from working full-time to creating content full-time? So this is an interesting question because content creation is not really something I consider myself doing full-time, but then when I got this question and I was thinking about it, I was like, well, I probably do devote full-time hours to doing this, so I see why someone would ask me that question. I've talked about this in the vlogs in the past, I believe, and I did talk about this on Instagram. I was, right before I started taking content creation more seriously, or even just posting on Fox's Instagram more regularly, I was laid off from my job and I was still finishing up my last semester of grad school. I was also struggling with my mental health. My last job was horrible. I hated it and I was just unhappy. And when I got laid off, I felt kind of a sense of relief and figured, you know, I will ride out the rest of grad school. I had enough saved up and I was also working part-time. I wasn't completely unemployed, so I figured I had enough savings to take some time for me, take an adult gap year, if you will. Since I was going to have so much more time to spend with Fox, I wanted to document all of it, and I just kind of fell in love with the dog Instagram community. Everyone on there has been so kind. I still have not had a negative experience at all with anybody in that community. Everyone has been so kind and loving and supportive of Fox and me. I just love it, and I fell in love with making content in general. My whole family consists of different types of artists and they're all very creative. So I used to be really into photography when I was younger, and I was really into drawing and painting, and I used to make music videos in middle school with my friends and put them on YouTube. Those are definitely somewhere in existence, but I don't know if I want to find them. So I always did creative stuff. Until college, I was really struggling with my sense of self and didn't know what I wanted to do. I probably should have taken a gap year out of high school. I didn't know what I wanted to study. And I fell in love with science, and I've always loved science, but I really fell in love with science. I decided I wanted to go to vet school, and so I was a pre-vet major in college. I worked as a vet assistant for a little while and did vet internships. I pretty much made it to senior year of college as a pre-vet major, and then COVID happened, and I also had an experience in vet med that I didn't love, and I just started questioning if it's something I really wanted to devote my whole life to. I knew I loved animals, and I always thought I wanted to do something working with animals. Vet med is something that unfortunately does not pay the greatest for the amount of time and effort vet med workers put in. And I didn't know if I wanted to turn my life into working crazy 80 to 90 hour weeks, put myself in $200,000 of debt, and not really get the best compensation for it. So at the end of college, I ended up switching my major to biology so I could think about it more, and so I would have other career options and I could try out some other things. Then when COVID happened, I ended up just falling backwards into a public health job, and I became an infectious disease investigator, and that's what I did at college, and I really liked that too. It had the science aspect I liked, and I just kind of kept moving towards that and ended up going to grad school for epidemiology. And I also was taking care of 2 very sick pets, and a lot of other things happened in my life throughout that time. I'm sure everyone had their fair share of COVID related trauma, but there was just a lot happening, and I don't think I took a second to stop and think about what I really wanted to do with my life until I finished grad school, had gotten laid off, and then I was like, wait, do I really want to do this? That's where I'm at now. So I started posting content more often and fell back in love with that, and fell back in love with photography. Yeah, that's just what I've been doing. I'm still job searching. I still bartend part-time to pay the bills, and I don't know what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I do not make full-time money doing content creation. I do make a little bit of supplemental income doing content creation, but it is nowhere near enough to be considered a full-time career, and I would love to, honestly. I would absolutely love to do this full-time. It is something I really love doing. I love the marketing aspect. I love working with brands. I love traveling and documenting and meeting people, and I love talking to you guys. But yeah, that was really long-winded and I might have overshared, but that is the answer to the question. I never really made the decision to transition to doing this full-time. I right now kind of am doing it full-time, but not financially full-time, if that makes sense. I am open to advice. If anyone who does do this full-time or knows how to do this full-time, please tell me the secrets and what I should do, because I would absolutely love that. But stay tuned if you want to see where Elena ends up with her life, because she has ADHD and she's impulsive but also overthinks and never knows what she wants to do and always wants to do something else. So that's me. But we will see where life takes us. So someone asked about road trip essentials. Road trip essentials for Fox. I am compiling a list. I probably will dedicate a whole video to the list of dog-friendly road trip essentials that I compile as we get closer to the date. It is something I've been putting together. Like I said earlier, we got that emergency tag. I need to get a tie-down kit for his crate, a first aid kit. I have a list, but I think I will wait to share it because I'll probably add stuff. That's something we've never really done super long road trips for Fox, and I have learned as we go doing smaller road trips of things that we should just have on hand. If you are a dog-friendly road trip expert, please comment and let me know what road trip essentials that I should bring for Fox, because I am genuinely open to hearing all advice. I want to talk to everyone who has done something like this before, because I've never done anything like this before and I don't want to find ourselves missing something that we might need. Someone asked when we're gonna go on our road trip, and I think I already said this, but we are planning to leave at the end of May. Someone asked what I use to take photos and what software I use to edit. I can't remember the exact model, but I use my camera for photos. It's a Nikon. It is pretty old, actually. I got it when I was maybe in middle school, I think, and honestly, it's holding up well. I have a lot of lenses that I've acquired over the years for it, and I just don't think I can afford to switch to a different camera and then get other lenses. I know there's like adapters that you can get, but I do want to get myself a new camera, but I did just get a new lens for Christmas. And software to edit, I just edit them in Lightroom. I took photography classes in high school and in college, but I am still very much an amateur. I do not know what I'm doing, so I don't feel comfortable giving advice on how to edit your photos or anything, but feel free to message me if you have questions on particular photos. What would Fox do on his perfect day? If Fox could decide what to do all day on his perfect day, he would definitely just swim all day. I posted on our Instagram story a little schedule of events of what he would probably do, and I would say he would probably wake up and swim in the river. Then he would go and swim in my parents' pool, and then he would want to go to the beach for dinner, and he would definitely eat some really yummy food and play with lots of sticks too. And he would probably get second dinner too, I would say, because he always tries to ask for second dinner. I think that is all the time I have to answer questions for this vlog. I'll definitely make sure to do this more often if you guys enjoyed it. I think I will say goodbye here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and don't forget to like and subscribe here as well if you want to see more of us. Fox is really antsy and needs some entertainment, so I'm going to go play some games with him and do some training, but I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.
Fox can be shy.
Yes, good boy.
Roll over.
Yes, good boy.
Hold. Sit. Break.
Good job. Yeah.